And now, ladies and gentlemen, the star of our show, direct from the bar,
PB.
What is going on out there, peeps? Okay, there are some things that I'm really concerned about that I'm seeing in regards to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, in his death, you learn that he was bigger than most politicians. And I'm talking about politicians around the world. He was loved, he was supported. Millions of people around the world came out to do a vigil for Charlie Kirk. That made him the single biggest threat to the New World Order. Whether you liked him or hate him, it didn't make a difference. People had mentioned Charlie as being one of our next presidents easily. But what if Charlie Kirk was so big that it scared the bejeebus out of a lot of very powerful people? And Charlie brought a lot of Christianity and faith with him. I want to first go through and try to debunk some of the bullshit that's out there and bring some new additional information to you. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the things I want to debunk is the shooter, Tyler, had no experience shooting guns. It's not true. This is his mother's Facebook page. It's been taken down since, but her name is Amber Jones Robinson. If you go through here, you can see her and her kids holding guns and shooting them. That's because they had family members that are in the military. So Tyler had experience with shooting guns. So he wasn't some amateur. If you believe he's a shooter and he was on the roof and he shot from the roof, then by all means, he definitely could do it. He had the experience to do so. Okay, in this video, these gentlemen are going to demonstrate what happens when you get shot with the 30-06, but there's a couple other things I want to highlight.
Welcome back to Ballistic High Speed. As you can see, we've got some old guns today. It looks like an M16, and what is this?
This is a Winchester Model 70 chambered in 30-06. That is a 180 grain Hornady SST Super Performance out of the Winchester Model 70.
Okay, yeah, that was more than I was thinking.
Okay, a couple of things. Yes, I understand it is a different type of 30-06, but it gives you kind of an idea of the gun that he was using. Also, these guys are shooting from close range. I understand that. But even so, it gives you a general idea of what happens when a bullet is shot out of a 30-06. What happens once the bullet hits you. Now, in this first clip, there is something that I want to show you that I brought up earlier. Once the bullet goes through the target, watch what happens in the back here.
Okay, yeah, that was more than I was thinking.
Did you see that movement? That's what I was trying to tell people. When Charlie got shot, there's no blood splatter behind him. And there's no indication that the bullet went through and hit anything. There's nothing there. That white tarp in the back should have had some kind of blood splat. And that whole territory right there, once the bullet hit it, it should have moved, it should have wiggled. We should have seen some kind of indication that a bullet went through. That's why I don't believe Charlie Kirk was shot head on. I believe he was shot from the side. There's no blood splat, and there was no movement in the back once the bullet went through.
Put a hunting 30-06 round in there. What's that going to do?
Further. The splatter is further.
You heard what he said. The splat is further. Now, they are shooting at close range watermelons. The whole purpose of this is to give you an idea of what happens when you get hit with a 30-06.
Direct comparison.
If that was normal, this is going to look like a Tarantino movie.
You want to shoot the 30-06 too?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's go do it.
Ready?
Ready. That looked like it had a firework inside of it or something.
Right on.
Yes, I get it. They're at close range, but even so, with a 30-06, the entry wound is smaller than the exit wound. See this? But see the splat coming out the back? I don't care how far you are away. We should have saw some kind of blood splat up against the wall behind Charlie Kirk. We never saw that. And once the bullet went through, we should have seen the back area move or give us some kind of indication that a bullet went through and hit the back. We don't see any of that.
Out the back. Yep. Completely unstopped, straight through.
Filled the whole frame.
You can see the bullet go straight through.
I didn't care.
I mean, look at this. Again, it's at close range, but even from far away, once the bullet hit, we should have seen some type of blood splatter behind Charlie Kirk, and there was zero. In addition to that, we should have seen the bullet go through Charlie's neck and hit something behind him. There should have been some indication that a bullet hit behind him. There's no movement behind Charlie Kirk whatsoever.
He needs some milk. Dude, that blew the 2x4.5. That was the coolest part.
Again, it's from close range, but it's just to make a point. And they're doing this in a soft tissue kind of skeleton looking thing. The bullet went through the chest. You can see the exit comes out. Look how big of a mess. Look at the splat. It's from close range, but even so, it just demonstrates that we should have seen some type of blood splatter behind Charlie Kirk. We see none of this.
That 2x4 is crazy.
That's almost the entire bullet there. Oh wait, is that
The steel core?
steel core and that's copper?
Oh, I bet it is. Yeah, good eye. You see the bullet follow it.
Come on. Run out of
Get in there. Where is it?
So this guy threw the coconut up, and the coconut is a much harder shell than soft tissue. But even then, at close up, this guy shot the 30-06 and went through the coconut, but you can see the splatter behind it. So I just wanted to kind of demonstrate to you why I think the shot came from the side. Charlie Kirk was shot from the front, is what we're told, from an elevated position, but yet there's no blood splat behind him, nor is there any indication that a bullet went through. There's no movement. There's nothing behind Charlie Kirk that shows you that a bullet hit anything behind Charlie Kirk. Okay, another thing I keep seeing going around is people are trying to claim that this is a plate in front of Charlie Kirk. It's been reported there's no metal plate here, and I'm going to prove to you that there's no metal plate here, okay? So let's just watch this. So people are saying, wait, what is that under his shirt? Well, I'll show you what's under his shirt.
So I have my mic right here, and I have an earpiece. And Charlie Kirk has an earpiece in, and I'll demonstrate that here in a second in the camera 3. And so what he's done, and it's actually more comfortable. I give him this. I figured this one out. It's more comfortable to have it wrap around and pinch into a mic than it is to have it drape straight down because it doesn't pull on you, right? It's loose up here. It's loose, right? I have my mic. And it wraps around the back of my head, and it comes here, and it comes across, and I'll demonstrate I'll show you exactly where it's at here. And it comes across. My shirt's a little bit tighter than his is, but the point remains the same. And that's why his mic is almost vertical in this frame, right? It's pinched up. It's not flat like most people wear it with a magnet. It's pinched because it's grabbing the cord. And so the cord is, I just had to unplug mine, but let's say he's got it tucked in right here. And he's sitting down, so it's kind of crunched up a little bit. And when it hits, it pops up, right? So you can see the cord is somewhat similar to where his is. Boom, there's your cord. It pulls from the shockwave. And it grabs the shirt and pulls it up. I'll explain that here in a second. And so this is, the cord is running down through the neck. It pulls the collar up, and the shockwave pulls the rest of the cord with it. That's why it looks like it's a circle. Let me get situated. So that's why it's a circle. Hopefully y'all heard everything. And then it pulls up, right? And so when it pops.
So a couple of things I don't agree with him with, but most of it I do. Charlie Kirk has a mic right here. It is, all the wires are draping down. It comes up from behind him and goes into an earpiece over here. So when he gets hit, this earpiece is jerked up and off his ear, which pulls all these wires up and makes it look like he has a round plate right here. There's no armored plate there. This is just the wires pulling Charlie's shirt up. You can see right here when it yanks the side up, that's just the earpiece in the back flying loose and pulls all this forward. The part I don't agree with him is Charlie Kirk is using a magnet to hold this microphone on the inside of his shirt instead of having it clamped on the outside. Wide stick and horizontal is because the little road box that they use is just turned sideways. This is what I'm talking about. See this? These are the magnets. Okay, these are the road boxes. This is the thing that I'm saying that's inside Charlie that's turned to the side with this on the outside of the white shirt. So it's not pinched. Charlie is using magnets on the inside and outside because it's real simple just to put one on, and I'll show you right here again.
Rode Go mics are already hyper efficient, but here's a cheap little accessory that'll take that efficiency to the next level. Let me show you. Now let's see how long it takes to mic up.
See that?
Good to go.
So those black dots that you see on Charlie's t-shirt is he's mic'd up. He's using those magnets to hold his mic up. And in the inside under his shirt, all the wires hang. It goes around the front of him and goes right through the back and into his earpiece. See? So all this is just, that's the magnet. It's just turned on its side. Charlie keeps grabbing it and trying to flatten it out. Keeps turning it to the side. Here's all the other wires, and it comes up over here, and the earpiece comes up over here. When he gets hit and he jerks, there's better pictures of it, but you can see the earpiece fly up this way. When it flies up, it's attached to these wires that are under his shirt, and he yanks it up. So no, there's no metal plate under Charlie's shirt, and even if he had a metal plate, what would be the purpose? It didn't protect him. So let's go through and go over this additional information that's out there. These are supposedly the texts sent between Tyler and the love of his life. Nobody is falling for this. These texts sound like shit. They're not the way these two, in our opinion, remember, they're millennials. This is not how they would talk, but that's not even the biggest issue with it. I'll show you here in just a moment. Okay, one of the things that grabs people's attention about this particular picture and this particular time, remember Charlie just got shot. And you got these guys in the middle of a crime scene, walking around, taking cameras down. There's no blood splat. There's no bullet indication. They're saying that the bullet, I'm not even kidding, evaporated. Just like Trump's bullet, it evaporated. So you got two cameras and people walking all over the crime scene. Worse than that, they already started cleaning it up. Where is the investigation? This is a crime scene, and these people are going through and cleaning it up. This is a half-ass investigation. The reason why they would do this is because they already had in their mind the narrative they wanted to push to the public. And they definitely didn't want people coming behind to the crime scene and proving them wrong. Now, let's go ahead for the additional information. Again, Hustle Bitch usually picks up on these kinds of things. That's why I listen to the channel. I will go ahead and leave the link for both the gentlemen who are showing you the demonstration with the 30-06 as well as Hustle Bitch's YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and hear the additional information that you should be aware of.
No, not again. He is not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating. But all the people around him are cooperating, and I think that's very important.
So he was more than happy to allegedly confess to all of the people on Discord, where he wrote, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you all for everything." And he was more than happy to not only confess to his friends, but also leave a digital record of this confession. And now he's suddenly saying he's not guilty. Their whole narrative about this assassination is crumbling down. Let me just show you what Kash Patel has just revealed.
I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting, but we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed...
But as you just heard, they don't have a confession note, and yet for some reason, Kash Patel says they know what was written on that note.
Assassination of Charlie Kirk, to me, is indicative of a professional hit.
But here we have some guy who not only left so much evidence behind, but also came home and allegedly started leaving messages online about the crime on Discord. I'm saying allegedly because Discord has denied the official claims. I just want to show you how some facts don't line up. So let's start with what the Utah County Attorney has said.
The roommate told police that the roommate received messages from Robinson about the shooting, and he did provide those messages to police. On September 10th, 2025, the roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard." Robinson again, "Delete this exchange." Again, Robinson, "My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me, RN." Not answering.
Did you hear that? According to the official story, the messages are from September 10th when the incident took place. As you just heard, Robinson is worried because the feds have released images of some pretty unique gun and his grandpa, who owns the gun, has allegedly seen it. There's only one problem with this story. The FBI didn't release those images until September 11th on Thursday, which means at least some of these messages are not accurate.
See, this is what I think is the problem in modern times with the FBI or any other agencies trying to go out there and tell us a narrative. It doesn't take very long for the public to start going into investigation mode and finding out the truth and debunking most of everything that they say. Now, people can say it's just a bunch of conspiracies, and the vast majority of them are. But you can't deny there are some details out there that you should at least be aware of and start questioning, just like the ones I just showed you. Now, when I did a video saying that Trump at one time could be the boogeyman, and now I'm going to say it again. You guys be careful. The reason why I'm saying just don't put all your eggs in one basket and assume that Trump is 100% the good guy. Now, I'm a huge Trump supporter, and I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but the way they're handling this crime scene is very questionable. And remember, Trump is the president. I don't trust anybody from the FBI, and I don't trust anybody from the CIA. I was hoping that Trump was going to go in there and change all of it, but it doesn't look like he's done shit to change the FBI. Pam Bundy, I don't trust for shit, and I'm going to show you why here in just a moment. And I was hoping that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino would be people that we could totally rely on. And I'm starting to learn real quick that they can't be trusted either, which is sad. And I think of anybody, Dan Bongino, it's got to be eating him up. He's one guy I think that has somewhat of a conscience, and this whole investigation is eating him up. But let's continue, and I'll show you why it is. We should question some things that Trump does because he is the president, and he's in charge of the people that he puts in charge of doing these investigations. But mostly, I'm going to show you why it is we can't trust what Pam Bundy is telling us. So one thing that people are questioning is why there was a surveillance drone there and nobody has been able to track who owned the drone. First of all, it's not a commercial drone. It's a surveillance drone. That's a government drone. It's flying all over the shooting. Why the hell is there a governmental surveillance drone there unless they knew something was going to happen?
Apparently there's been a shooting.
Now, I want you to pay really close attention to what it's about to tell us because it's very, very important. When the Biden administration has started to go down this road, we jumped all over their ass about this because we didn't want them violating any of our constitutional rights. But it looks like the Trump administration is going to push the same thing. And what am I talking about? Censoring.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
No, bitch. Hate speech is free speech. And when they start trying to monitor what they believe is hate speech, then that's when it becomes a problem. Now, we've seen the Biden administration start to do that. And we had that crazy chick singing a song. And who could forget this little gem?
Laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So disinformation's origins are slightly less atrocious. It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. When Rudy Giuliani shared bad intel from Ukraine, or when TikTok influencers say COVID can cause pain, they're laundering disinfo and we really should take note and not support their lies with our wallet, voice or vote. Oh, information laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So disinformation's origin seems slightly less atrocious.
That was the Democrats trying to censor Americans. And they did it quietly behind our back, but then it was exposed. But I don't like what Pam Bundy is saying here. Would she say there's a difference between free speech and hate speech? No, there's not. Hate speech is protected under our First Amendment. So this is a very thin ice that we're walking on. And these people are under the Trump administration. And it almost appears they're going to use this incident about Charlie as an excuse to push censoring.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie in our society. We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech.
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again.
Well, I agree with Charlie. It's subjective. It'll be used against conservatives before it's used against leftists. Now, you heard Pam Bundy. They're going to use all of their force to go after people who use hate speech. Let me repeat that and try to give you a better understanding. They're going to target people for using hate speech, violating our First Amendment rights. This is how you become a totalitarian government, when they start slowly looking for excuses to take away your constitutional rights. You start with free speech. They want to control the narrative and not allow other people to give their opinion. They're going to target them. And then second, they're going to use some excuse, some mass false flag event to strip away our Second Amendment rights. And once they take away those two things, we are done as a nation. There's no way to communicate. You'll be labeled as a person who gives misinformation or does hate speech, and they'll remove you from the platforms if they don't arrest you. And then they take away our guns, and there's no way to defend ourselves from a totalitarian government. This is why I'm saying that we need to be careful about putting so much trust into any one individual or any one administration. These recent events should have you concerned. Nobody believes the story that we're being told about Charlie Kirk, because we're quickly shattering their entire narrative about what we're being told about Charlie Kirk. Anyways, I look forward to hearing what you have to say. I'll catch you later. I'm out.